everybody. Thanks for watching segment 4 of Smacktalk. I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
In segment 4, we do our top 5, if you didn't know by watching the show every week. Every week we do a top 5, different top 5. Considering it's college football, the start of the season, we're going to do the Heisman Trophy winning top 5 of all time.
All time, yeah. We mentioned in the last segment 3, if you guys watched, some people that we thought were going to be making the Heisman this year, which we will cover as the season goes on in college football. We will probably keep a running tally of who are Heisman. Probably just 3 guys who are our Heisman Trophy.
Who's your 3 guys right now?
Taj Boyd for sure.
I like
based on the game against Georgia.
Of course, that's one of mine.
I have to go with Jordan Lynch.
That's one of mine too.
Jordan Lynch, and then I'm gonna say A.J. McCarron at Alabama.
A.J. McCarron. I'm gonna go with Teddy Bridgewater from Louisville.
Okay, that's good.
So
I'm gonna say A.J. McCarron.
1.
Yeah, I'm gonna say McCarron just because he went to national championship. I think this is his year where he actually shows that he's an NFL quarterback.
There's a guy that came out, and we're watching the highlights for him right now. His name is Winston. He's the quarterback for Florida State. Everybody was hyping this guy, Jameis or Janus or Genus or something, Winston. And it was his first game at Florida State, and we were hyping him so large. And he came out, and he put up 40 points.
40 points on Pitt, yeah, and he's just chucking the ball.
I mean, he's throwing the ball. He's got a cannon. Like, you see Michael Vick just flick the ball downfield.
Yeah,
that's what this guy does.
He's
see
got
his
the
throwing
mobility.
motion.
Yep.
And he's quick. He can throw it like a rocket. We're going to see this guy in it, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And he's young, too. But starting out my top 5 Heisman trophies of all time, I have to do this. Just because when I was a child, this dude was the ish. He was the Michael Jordan of 2 sports.
Sure.
And at Auburn player, Bo Jackson, my number 5.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson was tight.
And then he went to the White Sox.
I didn't even know college. I didn't even know college football was around until Bo Jackson. I remember being a kid and watching all my uncles on Saturday watching Auburn games and being like, "Who is this guy?" And he just, he was ridiculous.
If he didn't have that hip injury,
he would have dominated the NFL like it was nothing.
The type of things he could have did would just be crazy. We'd still be talking about him today. My number 5 is Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward played a great quarterback position at Florida State, running quarterback. Unfortunately for him, the running quarterback wasn't really around when he won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
So he decided to go and play for the New York Knicks.
Play basketball.
Hey, man, he's another 2-sport guy. Our number 5s are 2-sport guys.
Yeah, 2-sport guys. My number 4, probably the best running back of all time.
Yes.
Barry Sanders, Oklahoma State.
I agree.
A lot of people remember Barry Sanders for his runs at the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
But we live in a day and age of YouTube, so if you don't know this, YouTube some Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State runs.
It's ridiculous.
Because if anyone's ever seen the movie Forrest Gump and the runs that Forrest Gump is making, those are the things that Barry Sanders was doing at Oklahoma State.
You were absolutely right. And these guys that you see in the NFL, and they get famous by doing the things that they do in the NFL, if you go back to college and watch them in college, it's ridiculous. Because if you watch Devin Hester in college in Miami...
Oh, yeah.
The disgusting things this kid does there is crazy. Compared to the NFL, it's nothing.
Remember Willis McGahee at Miami?
Oh, man, bowling over people.
Bowling over people. Willis McGahee looked like an unstoppable
Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State, definitely. My number 4 is Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard was a wide receiver at Michigan. However, he was the return guy. He was the Devin Hester for Michigan.
Yeah.
And he single-handedly, in my opinion, won games by being a return guy.
Return guy as well.
And once he did the Heisman pose after the return,
that
probably won him the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
You know?
Not only that, he went on to be the first Super Bowl MVP returner.
Oh,
right?
yeah, sure.
The Green Bay Packers had two returns in the same
did.
game, Super Bowl, versus the Patriots.
Yeah.
Was that Drew Bledsoe?
At the time,
Drew Bledsoe, Curtis Martin, yeah. So Desmond Howard, definitely. That was when Michigan was powerhouse Michigan.
Yeah.
Was it Schembechler?
Bo Schembechler?
Was that Michigan?
The
name's familiar.
I'm not too sure.
All I know is they had like the same coach forever.
Yeah.
Michigan, and those were those days.
I believe right after Howard left is when Tom Brady came in.
Yeah, him and Greasy. Yeah.
And he was the backup Brady, believe it or not.
Brian Greasy. I know Brian Greasy's dad, Bob Greasy, was a great quarterback, but...
I don't know if that was that long ago, but I know Jim Harbaugh played at Michigan, so he might have played with Desmond Howard. I'm not too sure, but I doubt it, actually. He's probably older than that. Go ahead.
I don't think so. I think you might be correct on that.
No.
Yeah, Harbaugh
was in like the early 90s for the Bears, so...
Yeah, I know, but I
Is
think
Howard that old already? Are we
Howard
that
is-
old already?
Yeah, we're that old.
Go ahead.
Anyways, my number 3.
Also Michigan.
Also a Michigan player, and he was a 2. This is back in when I was a child. You played 2 positions.
Mm.
One on offense, one on defense. This guy did this. Charles Woodson.
Mm.
He was a great DB/safety because when he played at Michigan, they also moved him to safety, and he played wide receiver.
But he was listed as
He was
cornerback.
he was listed as a cornerback, so he was technically the last. He has been the last defensive player to win the Heisman. Although he did play some Boston, he's kind of like the Deion Sanders. Right? He did the same thing, except those Michigan teams. Their defense, he just outright made their defense.
Oh yeah, he was the whole team.
And the thing is like back then in
the whole
college,
defensive team.
the whole thing back in college is that guys didn't like avoid the cornerback.
No.
They would throw at him. And Woodson would make you pay.
Yeah, and
all
Woodson
game long.
is not dropping him.
No, but not only that, he wouldn't just intercept us. Probably
I've
like
seen
10 or
where
15
he's
games,
got-
his hands on it, just knocking it away.
And not only that, I've seen him make one-handed interception, things like that. Where he just made the play, and you know what? The pass was good. He just made the play himself, and that's why he won himself the Heisman.
Yeah,
I'm going to touch on Charles Woodson a little later, but my number 3 is Doug Flutie. You gotta love Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie. Hey,
Doug Flutie, Boston College, the throw.
The throw. Yeah.
2. It actually ended up. It was like 3 seconds left. Boston College was down by I don't know how many points, but he rolls out and he throws like a 60-yard pass, and there was a crowd of people, and somehow the ball just floated over the crowd of people, and it landed in his roommate's hands. What are the odds of that?
No, they practiced that shit. No, Doug Flutie, definitely a Boston College.
You know what?
I don't want to be politically incorrect and say midget, but he's a little person's quarterback.
Forget that game because his season
won
him the Heisman.
It won him the Heisman. Yeah,
that
but people
was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Doug Flutie, not only Doug Flutie about his NFL playing career. I think when he played for the Patriots as a backup to Tom Brady, he executed the
drop kick.
The drop kick.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which not many people know.
It looks like a punt. But
once the ball hits the ground, it becomes a field goal.
Yeah, it becomes a field goal. So even a quarterback in the backfield can line up in a shotgun, drop the ball off the ground. As long as the ball hits the ground and comes up in the air, he can kick it to a field goal. Doug Flutie is the only person to execute that in like 30 years.
I think more than that. Like 60 years.
Okay.
The drop kick.
It was fun to watch.
But yeah, definitely Doug Flutie at Boston College. You're right. People remember the throw, but the season that he had was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was great.
Obviously, win the Heisman, and back then the Heisman was actually like. The stats
was
were a lot
like
similar.
1984.
Yeah, but the stats were a lot similar. So it wasn't like one guy was blowing out everybody else.
No,
it was a hands down favorite. It was actually like an actual.
Yeah, you had to stand out.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to stand out with something.
My number 2 is Tim Tebow. Only because when he was a college quarterback, nobody could deny that this dude was the best player in college football.
Yeah, forget what he did in the NFL.
Yeah, forget all that stuff now. Because when he played at Florida, this dude made plays.
Yeah.
He made plays against SEC top-tier teams week in, week out. They won a national championship. He actually was on the national championship that Chris Leak won.
ACC.
No,
was it ACC or SEC?
They're SEC team.
Florida?
Florida, SEC team. Yeah.
No, thank you, sir.
Yeah, Florida is an SEC team. I'm right, Tony's wrong.
Okay.
But anyways,
You're
Tim
right.
Tebow.
Chris Leak. Yeah, you're right.
Chris Leak, they
the
won
year
the championship
before,
when they
he
played
would
Ohio
come
State.
in on the 1 yard line and do like the jump pass.
Yeah.
And that's all you ever knew with Tim Tebow.
But then when he took over,
the
left-handed quarterback, everyone made a big fuss.
It took him 7 seconds to throw the ball going like this, but
in college, his stats every week is like
records.
3 touchdowns. Yeah,
he's got records in Florida.
The only person to win more games in college football than Tim Tebow is Colt McCoy.
He got robbed. That man should have won 2 Heisman trophies.
Tebow?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Without a doubt. I forgot who...
Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford won one.
Yeah, okay.
Sam Bradford at Oklahoma.
Yeah, Jason White.
Jason White, when you look at that, okay, if we go back in the Heisman,
forget it, man.
You got Carson Palmer beats Jason White. Jason White next year. Heisman. Next year, Matt Leinart beats Sam Bradford. So next year, Sam Bradford beats Tim Tebow. If you look at it, it was like there was no one else, so they just took second place the next year and gave him the...
I don't like a lot of these Heisman votings because I don't think the guy who deserves to win wins a lot.
No, yeah, correct.
I think Toby Gerhardt should have won the year Mark Ingram won.
Yeah, Toby Gerhardt.
Toby Gerhardt for Stanford was just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I think.
Yeah, you didn't even know who Andrew Luck was.
No.
You didn't even know who Andrew Luck was. It was Toby Gerhardt.
Yeah, and Jim Harbaugh. He had a lot of the hype, too, because he was a coach. Toby Gerhardt, Mark Ingram won that one year. I can name guys that, when they come in the NFL, it's just terrible. Rashad Salam came out of wherever. I don't even care anymore. When he came to the Bears, he fumbled 17 times and they released him.
What's the other guy's name?
Ridiculous, man.
There's we could go. We ought to have
who
a top
won the Heisman that year? Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ryan Leaf wins it.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, Ryan Leaf wins it. Yeah, Ryan Leaf won it. I believe. Yeah.
I think Peyton won the Heisman.
I think Ryan Leaf won it. I think
whatever.
That's what happened.
Because if that's what happened, that's
and
a
somewhere in the world,
thing.
Ryan Leaf is popping a few Vicodin in the prison cell, going like, "My glory days."
Then when someone touches him, he goes, "Man, just leave me alone."
Yeah.
What a baby. Tim Tebow was my number 2, by the way, and I will always defend Tim Tebow, even though we retired his jersey off the jersey wall behind us, because he's no longer playing in the NFL.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Released by the Patriots. We didn't touch on that because it just happened about 6 days ago, or 5 days ago. But
yeah,
it's unfortunate. What we did talk about with Tim Tebow, though, is that Jacksonville should have picked him up.
Yes.
Now they have an opportunity to pick him up.
They got Blaine Gabbert, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Him
and his injured thumb.
Yeah,
and Chad Henne. If these are the guys you want to roll with in NFL season, you are in for a long season.
Yeah, you're going to lose Maurice Jones-Drew next year in free agency, too, if you don't get a quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, my number 1, Ricky Williams. Good old pot-smoking Ricky Williams, because when he played, that man was a beast.
Yeah, he broke Ron Dayne's single-season
record. He didn't run away from people. He ran through them over and over and over again. And, in fact, you could go back and look at like the top 5 All-Americans when he played, linebackers. I think he trucked like 3 of them.
He trucked everybody.
He's the only player I've ever known to somebody to give up 8 draft picks to draft the guy. The Saints did that.
Yeah, that's
and not only
the worst decision ever.
I know, but not only that, but when he went to Miami, when Marino left and they had Jay Fiedler as quarterback, Ricky Williams was the team. They were 10-6 every year. Mm-hmm. He was constantly leading the NFL in rushing.
Sure. And then they added Ronnie Brown.
Yeah.
On top of it. To back him up.
And then he started smoking pot, took a 2-year
shaved his head and grew his beard.
Yeah.
He went from here to here.
But then when he came back, he was actually in some good shape.
Yeah, he was. He was
with
pretty
the
good
Ravens,
when he came back. He was pretty... Was he on the Ravens?
Ravens team, yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That shows you how relevant he was when he came back.
No, but it was him and McGahee, and he would come in, like, spell McGahee and actually do pretty good.
There was more than that, though. I think he, besides the Dolphins and the Saints, I think he played for somebody else, too.
The Ravens.
Besides the Ravens.
I don't think so.
We'll see.
We'll look it up. Yeah. Anyways, your number 1 we already talked about, but...
We can go into it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He deserves to be mentioned twice. That's for sure.
Charles Woodson was my number 1 pick. He was the first... in the last 20 years, he's the only defensive player, listed as a defensive player, to win the Heisman Trophy. Like I said, the type of catches this guy made were just ridiculous. He played for Oakland for a long time and made some good plays with them.
Played
even
for
though the
Green
team
Bay.
wasn't that good. Played for Green Bay
Got
for a long time.
Super Bowl ring.
He does have a Super Bowl ring. Not sure where he's at today.
He's a free agent right now.
He's a free agent. Well,
No. He's back in Oakland.
Is he back in Oakland?
Back in Oakland.
He's a bad boy, you know what I'm saying? He's got the attitude problem, which I don't like, but he's a good player. He backs it up with everything else, so... You know, we enjoyed watching Charles Woodson.
Yeah, that was when we were younger, and a lot of these guys, you know, we could go into like the last 5 years, but we're gonna have a problem with a lot of them.
Yeah, you can't name these guys in the last 5 years that won Heisman trophies and say, oh, they were the greatest thing in all time.
You know, because Cam Newton, he got paid.
The thing, I'm gonna honorable mention Archie Griffin. He's the only guy who won 2 Heisman trophies.
Archie Griffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to give him an honorable mention, even though we never saw him play.
Yeah.
So,
I will say somebody who was going to make my top 10 was RG3.
Yeah.
Because he's translated the success. He was a great quarterback. He used to put up crazy numbers at Baylor. Yeah. Like 60 in the bowl game.
I don't mind it. But Ron Dayne won I mean, you got guys that they came in the league and they just poof.
Yeah.
Vanished into thin air.
I would not draft a Heisman.
You wouldn't? Depends on who it is, man. Come on now. Did Andrew Luck win a Heisman?
I do not think so.
I don't think so either. And look what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's going to be tight. Yeah,
so Colt McCoy didn't win a Heisman?
Nope.
He was probably the better quarterback that year, too.
Won more college football games than any other college football quarterback in history.
Now, I remember when he came out as a freshman, everybody's like, oh, this kid's not going to be that good.
Yeah, and he was pretty tight.
And he was killing it.
Yeah,
killing it.
Colt McCoy.
Thanks for watching segment 4, our top 5 Heismans of all time. I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
Smacktalk.
Thanks.